NCAA basketball totals for Wednesday, January 11th. We got 3 games on the card today. For you new guys, this is the segment where we look at college basketball games and we try to beat the odds makers line, either over or under that total. We're having a pretty good season in college hoops so far. Not great, but good. We have a pretty solid winning record, so that'll be in on the YouTube channel. Check for the comments to see where we're at as far as our record is concerned. Right now, it's still updating because as I'm making this video, there's still some games going on right now. As I'm making this segment kind of early like I usually do, as we just get ready for the totals for the next day, which will be today for you guys. Anyways, we got 3 games on the card today. Don't forget we got our NBA segment out there as well. That's going to be going on live a few hours before the first tips of the NBA schedule. So be sure to check that out on the Facebook page. Sportsbook Review, SBR Picks, we got it all there. A lot of sign-up bonuses at the website. Blacklists, all sorts of stuff like that. So be sure to check us out. All right, let's get to some college hoops. First game we got up here is Houston versus East Carolina. Just quickly to let you know, these games are a little bit out of order today. This one's correct. Houston is the first game up, or one of the first games up, versus East Carolina. Oddsmakers have this total at 126, and we're going under. We're going under. This is only the second time since 2002 where we've seen a total this low. They had another total this low a few years back. But the reason is because they play tremendous defense, and the scoring defense on both sides should be there tonight. Right now we got Houston averaging 76.2 points per game. East Carolina goes pretty slow. They average 63 points per game, but more importantly, let's look at the defensive numbers. Eastern Carolina is allowing just 61.9 points per game. They're 17th in the nation in scoring defense. Houston, not bad at all, 62.2. They're 18th in the nation in scoring defense. So we have the 17th and 18th teams, ranked teams in scoring defense going at it. Their defensive percentages are great. East Carolina, they're allowing just 37.5% shooting from the field. They're ranked 7th in the country. And then you got Houston, not bad at all, 39.1%. They're ranked 23rd. So 126 seems really low. The tempo is not that fast. Neither of these teams really get up and down. It's at East Carolina, so I'm anticipating they'll control the tempo just a bit, and they average just 53.8 attempts per game, which ranks outside the top 300 teams in NCAA hoops. I think it's going under the total. It's going to be a real grind with these two teams, so I'm going to back under the 126. East Carolina and Houston. Next one up. This game is actually later than the one I have up. This is a little bit of a later game here. Butler versus Creighton. Can't talk. Butler versus Creighton. Say that 5 times fast. All right. Oddsmakers have it at 152.5. And Creighton is a totally an over team, but I'm going under. I'm going under because I think this looks too low. I think it looks too low. The last 2 times they've met, oddsmakers have set up some pretty high totals. 147.5. Last time they met, they went over that. And then under the 155 is what they did 2 games back. This matchup is going to be a heck of a ball game, but I like for the under, and the reason why is because both these teams play surprisingly good defense. Well, not surprisingly good for Butler. For Creighton, yeah, because we know Creighton, under McDermott, they just get up and down the floor. Offensively, great scoring teams. You got Butler right now averaging 77.7 points per game. Creighton, 87.5. They can shoot lights out too. You got Creighton right now. They're shooting 53.7% from the floor. That ranks first in the country, and they're at home. So, and Butler, they ranked first last year in the Big East in scoring offense. So it's surprising for me to see that this line is under something like 155. I really thought it was going to be a lot higher. So this is a numbers play for me on this one. I mean, Creighton's number 2 in the nation in shooting efficiency, and they're at home. Butler, very good offensively across the board. Now let's look at the defenses, though. Tempo should be decently fast, but it's not going to be. Creighton doesn't go super fast. They're just really efficient. Right now, Creighton's allowing 72 points per game. That's not great, but it ranks in the middle of college hoops, so it's not horrific. Butler's allowing just 64.9 points per game, and they're going to have to step up defensively if they're going to hang with Creighton at Creighton. Defensively, Creighton, not bad statistically. Opponents are shooting just 42.7% against them. That's not bad at all, and Butler is allowing about the same, 42.1%. So 152.5, I think, is a little bit too high for, when all is said and done, when we look at their defensive statistics, and also, I really thought this would be set higher by odds makers. So interesting how my mind works when I look at this game. But I'm going under that 152.5 and what will be surprisingly under the total. All right, and the last one up is I'm going the other way now. This game is actually earlier than the Butler-Creighton game. It's Seton Hall and Marquette, 155.5, and this is going to be a track meet. I'm going over the total. Seton Hall's averaging 77.1 points per game. Marquette under Wojciechowski's just been really fast. They're averaging 83.6 points per game. They ranked 19th in scoring, and they've just been getting up and down the floor. 61 attempts per game, which is really fast. Seton Hall's not bad either in that category. They both can shoot. Marquette, they're shooting 48.4% from the floor. They're 6th in the country in shooting efficiency, and they're 15th in effective field goal percentage, and they're at home. The reason why I like this one to go over and not that Butler Creighton game is these teams aren't quite as sharp defensively. You got Marquette allowing over 72 points per game, and you got Seton Hall allowing about 69 points per game. That's a little bit more, and the defensive percentages are not as strong as that Butler Creighton game. You got Marquette right now. They love to get up and down. Opponents are shooting over 45% against them. That ranks outside the top 200 teams in NCAA hoops. And then Seton Hall, they're better, but not tremendous. They're allowing opponents 41.3% for the floor. That's pretty solid, but 46.5% on their two-point shots. So that's more about like just inside the top 100 teams. Not super great. Again, back to the number, though, that 155.5. Since 2006, in their last 20 games, this is the highest total we've seen by odds makers, that 155.5. So that's kind of a trend I've been looking into quite a bit. Like when odds makers are setting a number that we've never seen before, I think you really need to pay attention to that. And I've been paying attention to it, and it seems like it's been going pretty well. Kind of reminds me of that the Boston Toronto game yesterday. It was at 218 in the NBA. They've never had a total set that high. And I went over and it hit. It's not always going to work out that way. But I think that's the smart play, is to go with what the odds makers have set. So that 155.5, it seems high. Never had a total this high between these two teams. I think they go over. And that's it. All right, so those are our 3 plays for today. Let's recap it. East Carolina, Houston, under the 126 and what should be a defensive grind out. Butler, Creighton, under the 152.5. I'm not super comfortable going under with Creighton, but that's a numbers play for me. I think that looks a little bit too low. And I'm going to go ahead and go under that total. Finally, Seton Hall and Marquette over the 155.5, and a number that we've never seen before with these two teams. That's our wrap-up of NCAA college hoops for the totals. Don't forget to check out our NBA segment, and I wish you luck on your picks today.
Research before you bet. Be sure to check out SPR Picks for the best game predictions, breakdowns, and much, much more.